Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Uh, Today's a hot day in New York, flaming hot. Uh, it's probably one of the hottest days since the summer. But alhamdulillah, uh, for all my guests on American Muslim opinions, I'm gonna break down some things. Some of my viewers who might not know. Some of us, we need to look at the reality of certain things. And one of the realities of things that we need to start discussing and start looking at is that when it comes to fixing the issues in America pertaining to our people, that some of us are going to sit on the sideline. That's a reality that I have came to a long time ago, a conclusion that I know that some of the African Americans are going to take the sideline when it comes to dealing with Black issues in America. And that within itself is a whole discussion. But what I want to speak about right now is that many of us are going to take the sideline. We're going to sit on the sideline and we are going to do nothing. And there's a reason why. The first reason is that many of us, we don't want to fight against white supremacy. We don't want to. We don't know how to, for some of us. But the truth of this and the reality is some of us really don't want to see white supremacy go. And I'm talking right now to Black people, Black African Americans, that some of us, we don't want to see white supremacy go because we're comfortable living in their world, in their society, in their government that they control. We are very comfortable with this. And how we are comfortable, some of us, we're comfortable because we have a nice job, you might have a nice home, you might have a nice spouse, you might drive a nice car. And we think that white supremacy really don't affect us, but we're comfortable with it. And that's due to if we fight it and destroy it, many of us who are comfortable with them and living in their society and living under their tyranny, we know that if we fight it, we won't have this comfortable lifestyle that we have now. That's real talk. That's some of the conclusions I have came to related to white supremacy, what Black people go through in America, related to racism, related to discrimination. A lot of us are going to be happy with it. Even though that many of us are affected by it, and the effect that at how we are affected by it, for example, when you hear about Black women that die in childbirth, or one of the main enemies to the Black woman is the health care. And healthcare is ran by white supremacy. Many of us, we don't really care until we are affected by it. Until one of us, we go to prison, or a child, one of our family members go to prison, until one of us are killed, until police harass one of us or kill one of us, until we see white supremacists marching in the street, maybe punch you in your face, disrespect your women, so on and so forth. So a lot of us, we're going to be real about it. We're going to talk real. We're not prepared to fight white supremacists. We don't want to. Within our hearts, we know it's true. We're comfortable. We're comfortable with the nice cars we have. We're comfortable with the lifestyle that we live. We're comfortable watching sports and basketball and football. LeBron James. When white supremacists, they own the sport industry. We're comfortable with all these little things that they give us: cinema, TV, video games, entertainment. That's all ran and owned and controlled by the white supremacist system. So a lot of us, we're going to have to be real. A lot of us, we don't want it to go because we're comfortable with it. So all I'm going to ask for, if you're not ready to fight it, if you're not ready to do anything to change systemic racism with blacks, if you're not going to do anything to change the condition of black people, at least give up your money. Give up your money. Give up your money. A lot of us already, you spending your money is going into the system that is destroying you. A lot of us, we know that our money is going to the same system that is destroying you. If you're paying taxes, your tax money goes to the government. If you're paying taxes, your tax money is going to the government. Your tax money goes to helping incarcerate black people or keep black people incarcerated who are innocent. Your tax money goes to the police, law enforcement that shoot down and gun down black people. Your tax money goes to the court system, to the judges, to the administration, to the DA, and other law enforcement, the legal system that is used to perpetrate crimes against black people. So you're already spending money with them. You're paying taxes, so you're definitely spending money with them. And unfortunately, some of us, we willingly giving them our money. Every time you buy Nike, every time you go to Walmart, every time you go to Costco, every time you go to Best Buy, anytime you go to any sporting good type of retail business, you're giving your money to the system, to those who are oppressing you, to white supremacy. This is real talk. So some of us, we know that we're not prepared and we don't want to fight. We know that we don't want to really get down in the dirt and get our hands dirty, our fingernails dirty. We're comfortable with our lifestyle. We're comfortable with our job. We're comfortable in the position that we are in. We're comfortable with being entertained. I was looking at a skit today. And in this skit, there was a man who was going to fight against his oppressor, who was killing his people. And it was a comic skit. But within it, it was showing truth. And I said, when I seen this skit, I said, this is black people. So in this skit, the ruler went to fight against another nation who was oppressing his people. So he decided to go and assassinate its leader. And he found a loophole for how he could enter into their opponent's lair or land. And once he got inside of it, he was overwhelmed by it. He liked the comfortability in the society. He fell in love with their luxuries. He fell in love with their women. So when his peoples called to him, so did you get a chance to assassinate the leader or close to him? He said, man, he's kind of busy right now. And I was laughing at it. And I said, in reality, this is black people. And I think the people who was making this skit was really laughing at black people. Even though we complain about white people and white supremacy, we live we make luxury. We fall in love with their luxury. We fall in love with their luxury. That's why when you see black people protesting, like black people protested for George Floyd, you notice now black people are not protesting, not doing nothing. They've gone back to their luxuries that white supremacy gave them. Little luxuries that the white man don't spend money into it. Matter of fact, you pay for it, the luxury. He makes money off of it. And this luxury rocks you to sleep, just like in this skit that I seen. It rocked the person who went to take them out. It rocked him to sleep, that luxury. And he was no longer willing to fight and assassinated their opponent who was oppressing his people because he fell in love with their luxury and comfortability. Let's be real, man. A lot of African Americans, and including the African American Muslim community, you're not going to spend no money and no time into fighting white supremacy. You're going to continue to give them your money. Your money pay for the bullets that police use to shoot down black people. Your money goes for the handcuffs, the police car, the prison cell that keep your people locked down. Your money, your tax money goes to the U.S. government. The U.S. government that never intend to give you reparation for what happened to you. Rather yet, the U.S. government take your tax money. Take your hard-working tax money and gave it to the people in Ukraine because they are European. And the white supremacy in America is helping out the Europeans in the West because white America, the government in America is the European diaspora. Let's be real. A lot of African American Muslims, you guys are comfortable living under the tyranny of your oppressors. We know we don't want to fight this system. Many of us, we can't fight this system because you can't wean yourself from this system. If you watch basketball games, you in love with the white supremacy entertainment they gave you to rock you to sleep while they stay in power. If you like football games, entertainment, TV, their education system, then you are rocked to sleep. If you're depending on one of them for a job in a corporation, in a particular industry, then you are in need of them. Many of us have not weaned ourselves from their society. So let's be real. Let's be real. Many of us, we're not gonna do anything to change this system because we haven't weaned ourselves from it. But I give you an alternative. What is the alternative? The alternative is you give your money in those causes and those individuals who are taking time, who are organizing black people to do something to help black people. And don't do it where you're going to give your money to other black people who's going to take your money like the Black Lives Matter movement did to live luxury in the white supremacist society. I have something going on. I decided to take Black American Muslim opinion and making it to a non-profit organization. I have three phases. Three phases. Phase one. Phase one is to get what? A non-profit status, inshallah, for African Black American Muslim opinions. A 501c, a non-profit organization to assist, to use Islam to empower those in need in our community. That's part of phase one. Also part of phase one is take instructions and materials that will help to assist us to how to help our peoples. Let's be real. Black people, we got a lot of issues in America. We got mental health issues. We have a lot of mental health issues from the men and from the women. And mental health, going for mental health help in the Black community is a taboo. So you have a lot of people in the African American community, including the Muslim community. We have loads of people who have mental health issues. And some of the mental health issue is related to slavery, related to genetics, related to the conditions that the white people put us in, from slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, redlining, eugenics to wipe out Black people. The healthcare system, right here in New York, the healthcare system by the politicians in New York closed down facilities to help mental health people. And that's why those who live in New York or watch the news in New York, where you see a lot of people with the mental health issues, they're attacking people in the subway, in the street, because they closed down the facilities. Who closed down the facilities? The politicians did. De Blasio and Bloomberg, the former mayors of New York. And now I have a new mayor who is Black, and he's going to do the same thing that they did. So we have all over America, Blacks who have mental health issues, in particular in the Muslim community. We know that. There's a lot of the sisters in our community got mental health issues. There's a lot of the brothers in our community have mental health issues due to the society that we live in. So one of the part of phase one, learning courses and material for training, so we can have a better understanding with Black American Muslim opinions about the mental health issues, so we can deal with the mental health issues in the Black community. Also learning about the economic situation of Black people and taking up material and courses, having material and courses, learning courses, so we can start understanding with Black American Muslim opinion, what are the financial issues that Black people have, what are the solutions. This stuff costs money, and you must buy material and take courses. So you have the mental health issues with myself, inshallah, who've been studying a little bit about mental health, but I now want to take mental health on as Islamic psychology. That's going to cost. So we can benefit our peoples in our community. Mental health is a serious issue in the Black community. Economic issues, social issues. So phase one, it was going to cost some time and some money, but we need to raise some money to get the 501c3, because you got to start the right way. You have to have a nonprofit organization. I don't want to do like some other masjids do in the Black community. Unfortunately, having a Black community, a lot of this, what you call storefront masjids and Islamic center, I'm not taking these routes, man. You need to take the correct routes, and that's by having a nonprofit organization. Then having some knowledge about what are the conditions of Black people. And then the reality is mental health issues, something that we have to learn with Black American Muslim opinion. And it can't be no pseudoscience like we see on Facebook and YouTube. A lot of these YouTubers, a lot of people talk about Black people's issues. They are practicing talking from pseudoscience. Pseudoscience. And you know what pseudoscience do? Pseudoscience cause more problems. It's going to cause more problems in the Black community. A lot of the Black YouTubers who talk about Black issues in America, a lot of them talking from the points of pseudoscience. A lot of them pseudoscience. And it's Eurocentric pseudoscience. Beta males. Beta males. A high value man. Man, that's pseudoscience. That's Eurocentric pseudoscience. So that stuff is not going to help Black peoples in America. Not going to solve our problem. Rather, it's going to cause more problems. So you have to take on another level. That means you have to take up training. Who's going to do it? Hey, somebody got to take up this mantle. And a lot of us already know. A lot of us, you got to be real of ourselves. We know that we're not going to sacrifice the time to do this for Black people. Because Blacks, we are practicing individualism. And we don't know how to move and organize as a unit, as a race. So, man, give up your money to those who are trying to do it. So phase one, we're building in phase one with Black American Muslim opinions. Bi'ithnillah is one, to get the 501c3. Along with getting the 501c3 part of phase one is training and materials related to psychotherapy, psychology, economics, finances, and more material and information on Islamic sciences. That's part of phase one. And also, phase one is to grow our social media. Even though I'm trying to get off of Facebook, but you are addicted to Facebook. I'm trying to get off of Facebook, but you guys are addicted to Facebook. To this day, hey man, I asked, we need to get up the subscribers. We have on our page at least 500 people to 400 to 500 people on our Facebook page. I only got today 30 subscribers. $30 subscribers. You got 500 people on our page. And it says on the Facebook page for Black American Muslim Opinions, we have at least over 1,000 people since this page been up, which is like 3 months, I believe. 3 months. We have over 1,000 of some people hit the page. And only 30 subscribers. But you were subscribed to Beyonce. You were subscribed to Joe Biden's social media, or the president. You would go to Nicki Minaj and subscribe to her page. You were subscribed to the Red Table. You subscribe to other people, Black people, entertainers. It's going to keep you rocked to sleep. Like I said, we haven't weaned ourselves from white supremacy. We're addicted to what they gave us, the stuff they give us to keep us busy from the truth and the reality, to see what they're really doing, how they stay in control. Best believe Joe Biden don't follow the Red Table. Best believe that. Joe Biden, I bet you he don't follow the Red Table. And that's the same person that many Black people elected him to be president. So phase one, as I said, 501c3 nonprofit status, materials for psychotherapy, psychology, Islamic psychology, On top of that, not Eurocentric psychology. Unfortunately, we have a lot of black brothers and sisters who study psychology in the African American Muslim community, but I find a lot of them, they lack Islamic education, so they say things that contradict Islam, and they cannot differentiate between what Islam say because they don't know what Islam says. So a lot of them be talking from talking points from Eurocentric psychology that was designed by white people to keep white people in control. Who you think made segregation and Jim Crow? It was white psychologists from America. Who you think make eugenics and all this stuff? The white academics using their academic field to promote white supremacy. So we need to study about psychology. We have some mental health issues in the black community. Islamic psychology. And also studying from black psychologists who are from America, who knows about white supremacy and its effect on black people. So that's part of phase one, getting material for this. That's phase one. What I'm looking for phase one, donation, at least $3,000. $3,000. I posted a picture on our fan page for Black American Muslim Opinion. I posted a picture about three years ago. I gave a khutbah for this masjid 3 years ago. And Masjid al-Rahman did a fundraiser there. So I went to give the khutbah for the fundraiser, right? For a Jummah. That masjid raised in that masjid between $8,000 to $10,000 from the khutbah I gave. $8,000 to $10,000. And I have been a khatib for a couple of years. And this particular masjid I have worked for in the past, when we did a fundraiser in that masjid, I've done many fundraisers for them in their community. And I noticed something. When I had to ask the Muslims, especially from the Desi community, the Arab community, the African Muslims from Africa, I never had to twist their arms 2 or 3 times. But Black Americans, especially the African American Muslim, you got to twist their arm for them to give money for causes that help with them. For causes that help their people. They don't want to spend in it. And unfortunately, this particular masjid I work for, they were in the hood, in the projects. And they gave nothing back to the black peoples in the community. And that masjid was protected because it was in the hood with black people. Even though majority of the Muslims in the community were not African American, they were Arabs. And the Arabs there, they was making money off of the misguidance of the black peoples. We need to start investing into ourselves. And if we don't invest into ourselves, then we won't have no future. You ever hear, like, for example, I hear sisters, right? Black African American sisters all the time. Oh, the brothers are no good. I don't want my daughter to marry somebody who didn't grow up with their father. Man, if you don't fix those social issues and we don't put our money into the research to make a framework to fix these issues, there's going to be a lot of sisters won't be having no husband because you're going to have a lot of Muslims, African-American Muslims, coming from broken homes. Whatever is going on in the black community, best believe is infesting the African-American Muslim community to some particular, or in some way or on some degree. If we don't invest into the framework to fix our communities, and you don't invest the money, then you won't have a future for a group as a race of peoples in this country. And best believe, the immigrant Muslim ain't gonna be racing to marry your daughter or your son. And if they're racing to marry your daughter or your son because they see that, man, you're naive, so they can marry you, so they could get a green card or American citizen through marriage, so they could get their family over and from that having that American citizenship or status. They could get linked to money that you're not able to link to because you're not working as a race of peoples. 3,000. I'm gonna put on our website sometime between now and maybe this Saturday, inshallah. What is our financial goals for Black American Muslim community? 3 phases. Phase 1, $3,000, and that's to get the 501c nonprofit status and money for material and courses that's going to contribute to helping the Black struggle. Mental health, social, that means psychology, Islamic psychology, Islamic economics, Black psychology, Islamic psychology, economics, course material, into other things and buying things to start doing research. Then phase 2, which I don't have a price on it yet, only going to start with phase 1, 3,000. But phase 2 is going to do putting money into research and researchers to deal with issues in the Black community from a research point, because the research is going to go helpful phase 2. By the permission of Allah, phase 3 is to get a building, either buy or rent a building somewhere. But that has to be first go through phase 1 and then phase 2, which is going to be all research. The effects of systemic racism long term in America on African Americans. Research also by other African American Muslims, which means that we're going to have to employ other African American Muslims who are lawyers, doctors, psychologists, know about economics, know about social work, genealogy, also history, because we just start talking and look doing the research, because the research is going to lead us into how to make the framework, what the framework needs to focus on. The research is going to lead to the framework, making the framework, because I haven't seen right now if no African American Muslims will have a framework to this day. I see them quoting different methodologies and philosophies from different individuals from the past, like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., Frederick Douglass, W.D. Du Bois, and other individuals. But as time changes, so do the framework need to change for its time. And the framework for us have to be Kitab and Sunnah. We must understand what are the condition of Black peoples in America are living in, so we know what type of framework to make. Marital issues, family problems, children. I hear nobody focusing on children. What do Black children go through? That's what I'm trying to do. I give you example, my son, one of my kids, I have 3 sons, alhamdulillah. Allah bless me with 3 boys. I have 3 boys, alhamdulillah, right? From the same mother, right? And one of them, he's about 12. Him, this guy, he's Egyptian, the mother's Egyptian, he's like in somewhere else, right? Egyptians, their mind is somewhere else, right? Then I have my middle son, this guy's just like me, man. This guy is just like me. Look like me, think like me. So I never taught him this word. Never taught him. They don't live with me full time. I see them like on the weekends, right? Me and the mother's divorced. So he told me, I never told him this word. So one day he came to me. He said, my teacher in school is a Karen. I remember I had a show yesterday with the brother who's the lawyer, our brother Hakeem Muhammad Esquire from Black Dawah Network, and I told him on the show that because he grew up in the nation before he became Sunni Muslim, I said your experience from the past as a child make you who you are today, right? So a long time ago, my son, he told me his school teacher's a Karen. I never told him what a Karen was, right? Because that's part of white supremacy and white people behavior, but they have certain labels for white women who behave this particular way as a Karen. Rather, that's just the white supremacist behavior. All right, it's nothing new. This got a new name to her, right? So he said his teacher's a Karen. So I asked him, what make your teacher a Karen? I asked him this. He's 8 years old. This son, this kid of mine, he's 8. I said, what makes your teacher a Karen? I never told him this word. I know where he get it from YouTube and the internet, and he understand black issues. All right? As a little kid, he know how white people are racist as a kid. He said his teacher is a Karen. I said, why? He said, number one, anything goes wrong in the class, she always looking at him or blaming him. And he said, she's doing this because she's a Karen. I said, you know what a Karen is? He's like, yeah, a white woman who's racist. And she got blonde hair on top of that. That's what his answer was. I was like, follow up. And I said to myself, we need to create an environment where our children don't feel this way. We need to create a framework. That's the base why I told the story. The framework where our children are being taught, because all of them won't be able to go to private school, but a framework could be taught so they know how to deal with teachers like this. They know how to deal with teachers like this, and how they learn collectively as students, black students, how to remove teachers like this in these type of environments. That are majority all black kids are in that particular school. We need to create the framework. We can't create the framework without the research. One sister told me that the number one killer for black women is the medical field, the hospital. We need to have some research on that so we can make a framework to deal with these issues. Somebody can sum it up and say real quick what that means. That we need our own hospitals. We need to do some research, because why we don't have our own hospitals, and we have many black people who are doctors and nurses in the medical field. So you have to do some framework. We have to do some research where you can understand, even though we have these black doctors and nurses in the medical field, why are black women still dying? You need to have the research so we can understand the behavior that's causing this, or what's the cause of this behavior, and why black people who are already in the medical field, why we don't have any hospitals or our own clinics. You need to have the research to understand the mind setting, social setting, financial setting that's causing them not able to get together and build their own hospital so they can save black women. You don't put the time into the research, then you're not going to get the framework. And that goes into anything or any other subject or any other complaints that we have as black people. Like I said, $3,000 I'm looking for. $3,000. Let's be real, man. Some of us, we ain't going to do this work. Let's be real, man. We can't wean ourselves from the system. We love the NBA and the NFL. We ain't gonna get away from that, and that's the white supremacist entertainment for you to keep you rocked to sleep. You already know you ain't gonna give that stuff up. Man, give me some of your money. Tell you straight up, give me some of your money so we can help you. You already giving up your money to people who are going to oppress you. You're already giving your money to your oppressors. You are making your oppressors richer. You're enriching them. That's why they're laughing at us. You give them all your money. We are the number one, blacks are the number one consumers in America, but we own nothing as a race of peoples. And we give our money to everybody else and won't invest our own money into our own sanity. and freedoms and having our own institutions. Phase one, $3,000 for phase one. Phase 2 and 3, not there yet. Phase 2 come, do have to do some research, know how much money we need to get some type of these individuals in the Black community. To do the research, then I have to get a number for phase 2. And once that's done, we definitely know what type of framework is needed and what area, what place, what city, what time, and what the issues are. But that takes research. But we can't do the research. We can't build the building or get a building or do the research without phase 1. Phase 1, the 501c, and the materials for the studies to get the understanding. Social issues, mental health in the Black community need to have that. It's a must, man. If we're looking and discussing how Black peoples are paying their oppressors, that's a mental health issue. If Black people can't invest their money into Black causes, and going to African American Muslims saying these are Black nationalists, but you invest your money into other peoples who don't look like you, who's taking your money that you're giving them and investing it in their peoples and their race, then that's a mental health issue. That's a psychological issue that you have. And then when you don't want to do anything about it, that is a mental health issue. $3,000. Phase 1, $3,000. I'm gonna play this video a few times during this week. 3,000. Inshallah, sometime between today or now and Saturday, I'm gonna put up on our website phase 1, 2, and 3. But phase 1, what are our goals and how to contribute? If you want to contribute, look in the description. PayPal. I'm gonna do another one when it's up on our website, and it won't be in the blog side. It's going to be in the homepage menu. 3 phases. I already know as a khatib, in this match that I worked in New York, I sat down one day and calculated how much money I helped them raise. A lot of money, maybe 50, 60,000, maybe during the short years. I don't know. I worked there for 3 years. I worked there, actually, not short years. All right, maybe 4 years. 2015 to like the end of 2015 to like 2019. All right, almost 4 years. How much money I raised for them, and they took none of that money and tried to help the Black people in the community where they were at. They didn't even spend money in dawah material for these people. And all the individuals who live in this area, half of them are making money off of the dysfunctions of Black peoples, especially those Yemeni who have these stores selling liquor, alcohol, or cigarettes, lotto tickets, all this stuff, making money off of Black peoples. And Black people, African American Muslims, don't want to invest in their empowering their own peoples. They don't want to see their own people become Muslim and be empowered. Some of us, we just want to run away from our Blackness. You can never run away from your Blackness. I don't care how many times you say the Shahada each day, you're going to be the Black Muslim, African American Muslim, Arab Muslim. I have some brothers, they Salafi talking about, Black nationalists. I'm like, you talking about? I want to make hijrah to Saudi Arabia. I mean, you see Saudi Arabia constitution, a Dastur. They say on a Dastur of Saudi. The Dastur, they said they are an Arab Muslim state. Arab Muslim state. We talk about Black nationalists. What are you talking about? They say in Saudi constitution, they are an Arab state, Islamic state. And the word Arab comes first. There are Arab state. And the name of Islam is within their constitution. With Islam is Arab. And black African American Muslims who follow this methodology of Saudi, they're running away from their own blackness. But Saudi government is an Arab Islamic state. And they definitely invest in their peoples. So don't be sitting here all this black nationalist stuff. Oh, you an idiot? The dumb, the deaf, the blind, and you don't want to empower your peoples to become Muslim? You don't want to use Islam to empower your peoples, to get them away from kufr, to wean them off the disbelievers, to wean them off away from wanting white supremacy to rule them, living under white supremacy. That's where America is, white supremacy. You want to call to Tawheed, this is how you establish Tawheed with your peoples where you live. I'm sorry, but in our hood, we don't even have communities. In our hood, ain't nobody else living in there except for black folks. The white man ain't living in there. The Arabs that y'all guys love and stuff, them Arabs don't even live in your hood. They might own business in your hood, making money off of you guys. So sooner or later, yo, you have to talk real talk. You need to start investing. You need to start putting your money into empowering your peoples. I will end on that note. Whoever wants to give the money, I have my PayPal account. I have the link right here, but I will start a either a GoFund or launch page or a GoFund through one of these financial institutions online, and I will put that on the website, inshallah. But for anybody who wants to donate now or give anything, you could definitely do it through the PayPal, and I also have my Cash App inside the description. But I want to put this in the like GoFund, so we can see how much money is there, how much people have to contribute. I want people to be able to see it publicly, right? I want people to see it publicly, how much money is going into phase 1. And you get a good description of where the money is going to go. I don't want to be like these people be asking for money and you don't even know where the money is going, and you don't see nothing. Phase 1, the 501c3, into the course materials, in the training. The 501c3 in these things will help for phase 2, which will be research. And then the research phase 2 will go into phase 3, getting location, right? A location. Phase 2 will help with the framework. What frameworks we need to focus in what areas and why.